Hi there, Steve Kaufman here. Today I want to talk about motivation in language learning. You know, I have bought lots of books about language instruction, language acquisition. I have them on my shelves. I've read them. Some have influenced me. Some of them I find totally contradicting my experience. But very little that I have found has been written on the subject of motivating people. And yet I believe that motivation is the most important factor in language learning. So I want to talk a bit today about, maybe I'll do a few videos on the subject, what motivates me from my experience, and then I'd like to hear from you, and then I have some other ideas about how in language instruction we could do a better job of trying to find those trigger points, those hooks that are going to motivate people, and different people are motivated in different ways. I thought of this today because I was cleaning out my garage. We changed our telephone system. We got an old TV, great big heavy TV. We even changed our central vacuum cleaner. So I got to get rid of all this stuff. So I look up the recycle whatever centers here, and so I find out where I go to take this stuff. And I take it there, and there's some free recycling run by the city, and adjacent to it, or part of this complex, is this company that takes in all these electrical or electronic goods, old hi-fis and everything else, and whatever they're able to salvage out of them, they salvage. It's a business, which is good. So, and lo and behold, everybody working there is Korean. So, and the girl who's there to receive me and who I ask my questions of, she's Korean. So we start speaking in Korean. And she was so happy and really, wow, and you speak so well, of course, which I don't. And so that motivated me. And I said, I'm going to go back to Korean. I got to get further along in Korean. So there's just a little spark like that. And prior to that, somebody, I think on the YouTube channel, had commented, looking forward to hearing you speak Polish. And I've been letting the Polish lag. So that was a bit of a motivator. But in my own experience, those things aren't strong enough. They'll get me going for a while, but I have to have that good content. I should point out too that last week I traveled to the interior of BC, and in the summer, if you have the opportunity to travel by car in the interior of BC, it is spectacular. So we drove across the Coast Mountains into Kelowna, this beautiful lake in the Okanagan, which is a different climate zone, different type of tree, forest cover and stuff, drier. Visited with a couple in their mid-80s whom we've known for a long time who moved up there. And the fellow's, he's 86 or 87, he's still learning Spanish. Then we drove down through Penticton, Okanagan Falls, down to Osoyoos. And that country is so beautiful. The vineyards, the fruit orchards. And we played golf, and we visited some vineyards where there's free wine tasting. We bought some wine, delicious wine. There's a small winery called Cassini. And we went in there and we sampled different wines, and we decided to buy 2 cases of like 6 bottles each of 4 different wines. We just had some this evening with dinner, a Syrah. It was phenomenal. And the owner showed up one day while we were carting our 2 boxes away, and he's of Italian origin but lived in Romania. So I spoke a few words of Romanian. There's a motivation. But as I say, that is the small motivator. It's not good enough. I need content of substance. So, I've been reading this book, Dime Quién Soy, in Spanish. It's such a fascinating book. I just keep reading. And I know that by reading in Spanish, I am continuing to improve my Spanish. It was only 10 years ago that I read my first whole book in Spanish. And I've never really been working that much at Spanish, but reading more books, and I think plus learning other languages, my Spanish has improved. I was able to read the book almost like as if it were English. So the big issue remains content, and I'm still attracted to my Russian and Ukrainian because I'm following the events there. So every day I listen to my Russian and Ukrainian, and I don't have the time to go after my Korean, because you can get stimulated, that sort of little spark of motivation, but then I need some interesting content to keep me going. So I'm going to stop it here, but I want to talk next time about how we can determine what motivates people and how that could be introduced into teaching. And if people have ideas on that, I would love to hear from them. So thank you for listening. Bye for now.